All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back officially this time to draft a best ball Mania 4 team for $3 million. We got two coffees in the background, as you can see. Sleep schedule's been a little weird, but we're here for the people. Let's do this. All right, as I said, we're going to be drafting what I had planned to do yesterday until I had messaged Justin after I did the stream with Pat that people liked that we had a little bit of a disagreement. I think people get tired of watching analysts that just sit there and agree with each other. This is why we like Davis, amongst others. No shot at Davis. I like Davis a lot, but man's not afraid to argue. So I had planned to do a Best Ball Mania 4 yesterday, but while Justin jumped on to iron out the details of our side bet, look at us guys. The 101, the Influencer 101. We're back officially. While Justin was on a 555 draft build, and so I figured, why not stream a 555 to the people? Peel behind the curtain, if you would. Show them what a draft looks like there. Caught an auto drafter. By the way, the auto drafter is undoubtedly one of the richer people in the room. The people that auto draft a high stakes 555, I don't know. They probably pull in tens of millions of dollars playing DFS. So they just don't care. But enough about that. We're here to draft the $3 million team. I have the 101. I'm going to take Jamar Chase. Jamar alpha play Chase. He's going to run back his 50 burger against Kansas City, and I'd be sick to my stomach if he was not on my team. I mentioned this on on the 4 for 4 pod. Got a little lit. Probably talked too much, but is what it is. We're trying to get back in the swing of things. Had a great time with Daigle and Ian and Chris. But DraftKings released season-long props for some of the positions. And now keep in mind, just because Vegas has something listed doesn't mean it's end-all be-all gospel, especially when it's not a very liquid market. When no one can bet a lot of money on the market, for example, if someone can't just plop down 15 grand on Jamar Chase touchdown props, then the numbers are kind of meaningless because the book might just eat some dead money. They might just let fans have their sweat, Their goal is to customer acquisition with them. But anyways, tied at 8.5 touchdowns over under on the season were guys like Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, the 101, Steph Diggs, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams. In a clear tier by himself at the 101, Jamar Chase at 10.5 touchdowns. Let's pull that up real quick. Mentioned this the other day. NFL beat writers is a great follow if you don't feel like following every single beat writer on Twitter, which I do not. Do I look at all his retweets? I do not, but it's a great resource. We're going to have to scroll a bit here, as you can see. Maybe one day he'll retweet something I say as news. Doubtful. Let's see here. Come on. Where are we at? Okay. Let's look at the wideouts first. So the wide receiver to 10.5. Oh, sorry, my bad. Cooper Kupp was at 9.5. Jamar Chase, 10.5. Cooper Kupp, 9.5. 8.5. Garrett Wilson, notable. Adams, Diggs, Jefferson. 7.5. Metcalf, Brown, Higgins, Waddle, Tyreek, Lamb. 6.5. Gabe Davis. Tyler Lockett, Devonta Smith, Mike Evans, Amari Cooper, Calvin Ridley. Christian Kirk, Amon-Ra, Tony, Olave, Godwin, Judy, Mike Williams, and Keenan at 5.5. And Odell at 4.5 with Christian Watson, Thielen, DJ Moore, Michael Gallup, Van Jefferson, Tyler Boyd, DeAndre Hopkins, Drake London, Alan Lazard, Terry McLaurin, Hollywood Brown, Debo, kind of low there, Jahan, Sutton, Pittman, George Pickens. So, why do we care about touchdowns on Underdog? Of course, because it's a half-point PPR website. A player going 100 catches or 10 catches and 100 yards is not as meaningful on a half-point PPR website. So, it is a little bit, it makes sense why Sun God's touchdown props a little bit low. Again, I do not think those numbers are the gospel. Okay. I just think it is flat out wrong that these elite quarterbacks are falling here. So we're going to take one. And we're going to do Allen and Metcalf today. I really like Metcalf's week 17 matchup against the Steelers. I'm assuming the Steelers are going to continue to play man coverage. And it's just hard to get out of my brain Gabe Davis going for 50 against the Steelers secondary. A bunch of other wide receivers torched the Steelers last year. Maybe they changed scheme. Maybe they improved. From what I can tell, not a lot. Ian Hartitz did bring up, well, if TJ Watt is healthy, maybe quarterbacks don't have as much time to throw. I do agree with that, but still. Metcalf, still an alpha. If I could have gotten Smith, I would have gone Smith, Hurts. But, we'll just take Allen without. Tyler asking, do you want to increase your chase exposure? JJ seems like a clear 101. I've talked about this a couple times, Tyler, but personally to me, Chase is the 101. I just think he has the highest weekly ceiling of any wide receiver, maybe tied with Tyreek in the pool. We've not seen Jefferson go for 50. I think Chase's quarterback is obviously better. And I think that realistically, for the contest that I'm playing for Best Ball Mania 4, I'm okay being light on Jefferson for Chase, who I think should be the 101. I understand why Jefferson is. I understand Jefferson ran real cold on expected touchdowns last year. Kirk Cousins has a very high touchdown passing prop, as he should. So I do not dislike Jefferson, but am I comfortable going 20% in this one contest where I'm trying to win $3 million over 650,000 other people? Yes, I am. In my 555 drafts, do I want 0 Jefferson where I'm investing more money and I don't need to beat as many people? No. So in any individual contest, which, these are $25 teams. If you do 150 of them, it's around $3,200, $3,250. I'm okay taking big stands there. And you're going to be wrong sometimes. But I'm trying to win $3 million, I'm not trying to be afraid and be like, oh, what if Chase gets hurt? Yeah, does it feel bad if Jefferson smashes and Chase gets hurt? Sure. But I know what I'm doing. Right? Like, I know the bet I'm making here. Let's check in on Adam Schefter here because I saw don't know if it was real news. I want to make my next pick, and then I'll tell you that. Tight ends, by the way, Kelsey, Andrews, Hawkinson, Kittle, then the rest. Knox, pretty high, as expected. Engram, low. Very curious why is his so low. Did they have running backs? Or just wideouts and tight ends? I mean, obviously, you can look this up on DraftKings. I'm in Florida, so it's kind of a pain to pull that up. Let's hit this. Oh, I don't know who made the Checkers Liam name, but yesterday I met him in a draft room. You could see people liked my tweet. Well, Checkers Liam, we duel at last. So I thought that was funny. I'm sure people who they're not on Twitter or anything, were like, there's a dude named Chess Liam in this room and Checkers Liam? Like, what the fuck's going on? And I always like to say, it's chess, not checkers. Appreciate you, young beastie. I'm going to destroy Justin in the wager. Absolutely. Young beastie asking, how are you treating Jacob and Barkley this day? These days? I want exposure to both. I don't think they're going to fall too much. If they start falling like here, I think it's a clear smash buy. I would not do what Zach Covers did here. But, all right, let's see here. We could go Burrow and get real weird. We're going to grab Hawkinson because something I was holding off saying. Fuck it, guys. How many Burrow Allen teams are there? Probably not a lot. Don't try this at home. I would not do this often. Geno's a better pick. It's just tough for me to click the button, though, because I might want to go Ken Walker, who I also correlates with. We're going Ken Walker this time. I have way more Charbonnet. Ken Walker's a good price here. With Hawkinson, what I wanted to pull up is, I believe Jordan Addison was pulled over for driving 140 miles per hour yesterday. And Hawkinson's been falling in draft. Now, I don't know who this Bill Enright guy is. Let's click on his thing. I mean, this is not a nobody. So, yeah. Vikings rookie wide receiver, breaking news here. Not even Schefter has this. Jordan Addison was charged with reckless driving last night, was doing 140 miles per hour in his Lambo. Okay, let's unpack a lot here. First of all, you're an NFL rookie and you already own a Lambo. Head's not in the right spot there. No, I mean, of course, spend your money how you want to, but I'm assuming a Lambo is not cheap. It's not like you just got paid, a $60 million contract. You're on your rookie contract. So yeah, Burrow was tempting to go with Chase. It'd be a rare pairing, but I don't have a lot of Walker. He works. I like to do running back wideout correlation. Bro ain't spending that guap correctly. You got that, man. Guys, by the way, if you're watching this, if you could hit the like and subscribe button, means a lot. I know this is the time of year where new viewers come on the fantasy scene. So if you don't know who I am, I won Best Ball Mania 2, won a couple other best ball contests, do a lot of streams. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, helps me out. DCOS saying, Matt, did you see him? He was at the Mall of America last night. I don't know what that means. I'm fading that, man. Yes, I mean, hate to say, seems a little Henry Ruggs-like, but seems a little Henry Ruggs-like. Chance, if you're only drafting 6 wide receivers, would you be more inclined to have your 2 to 3 quarterbacks stacked with your top 2-3 to wide receivers or your bottom 2 to 3? Or does it really matter? Yeah, Chance, I'm not 100% sure what you're asking. I mean, my assumption is, basic logic would assume that your top 2 wide receivers are better than your bottom 2 wide receivers. So, of course, you would want your top 2 guys stacked. But at the same time, those quarterbacks may be more expensive. So, not something I try to think about a lot. I do think, hey, I have Tyreek Hill. I probably want Tua. Or I have DK Metcalf. I probably want Geno. Or I have Calvin Ridley. I'd like Trevor, On Instagram, he was tagged in a picture when at a mall. I did some investigating. Preston saying he thinks Checkers Liam's been looking for me. Yeah, maybe, but I mean, I just jumped in a random draft at like midnight. Brock saying I have a look. I like Addison, the talent, and I want to be in on him. But I also like Hawkinson, so it's weird. It's weird for me. And both can have their weeks, you know. Again, I think a lot of people get wrapped up in best ball land thinking they need like a 250 point season. If your guy has 120 points, but they come in 3 games, aka 40, 40, 40, great pick in best ball land. You know, you get one of those weeks to fall in the fantasy playoffs, maybe week 17, could even win yourself some money that way. Yeah, Ken Walker just seems like Ken Walker close to some of these guys seems wrong. I understand he was a home run hitter. I do like Charbonnet at the same time. Not impossible I draft both on the same team, but I definitely want some exposure to a guy who previously the market valued as a 2-3 pick before the draft. You know, like what if Charbonnet gets hurt? We just get a 2-3 guy at the 4-5. So this is where some of the last wide receivers go, which makes it a hard pick to do consistently. But, you know, can't have 0 of the guy. Okay. So clearly we're going Gabe Davis. 6.5 touchdown prop. And why not? Let's go Jordan Addison too. Some of the running backs are tempting, but maybe Addison, I don't know, gets suspended because of that. Probably not, right? Like, yeah, you're an idiot. You don't care about the safety of others, probably, if you're driving 140. I don't know if he was buzzed at all, but as long as he plays. And this sets me up for a lot of, I can take Geno. I can take Kirk. So we got some quarterbacks we can backstack with. Cal be cool. Relating to my point, like Garrett Wilson, who had no usable weeks in the first 9, but similar to Christian Watson, ended the season real strong. Young Beastie asking, do you play any traditional fantasy leagues anymore? And if so, how many? I am the commissioner of my college's league. I was the guy knocking on everyone's doors, being like, hey, you want to join this league? We're still together. I'm 30, so I've been out of college for a while now. We do that draft every year. It's not for a lot of money, $50 or something, or $0 if the IRS has. I don't know. I don't know what you're allowed to do. And I will do a couple of the FFPC main event teams, which are season-long managed high-stakes drafts, $1 million first prize. I don't like to do a lot of them because I frankly do not want to do waivers mid-season. But, we'll probably try to run back the high-stakes draft with Davis and Kyle or whoever wants to. And I'll probably do one on my own and one with me and one of my college buddies did one last year. We'll probably do that again. I'm not a big Pickens guy, personally. Just down on the Steelers passing offense. If you think about it from a top-down view, the Bills and Vikings wide receivers are a much better bet than a Steelers wide receiver. At the same time, I do understand Pickens' appeal on a half-point PPR site. This is a guy who has a unique skill set, can catch touchdowns, catches balls down the field. And I do take him when he falls. Like I don't like him at ADP, but I've gotten Pickens in like the 8th round. Brock, I'm pretty sure I got last. I won I think the year I won BBM2, or the year before. I can't remember the exact timeline. I won my college league maybe the year before I won BBM2, and I think I got last in my managed league the year I won BBM2, and then did fine last year. Keep the questions coming, guys. Helps out. We're on the 2,000 subscriber goal, mini goal here. If I'm truthful, I'd like to be closer to 5,000 by the time the season starts, but this is the time here. Great questions from the chat. I'm going to try to set up the membership on this channel too. I don't know, $5 a month, something like that. Help support me, give you guys some perks. Michael asks, what are your thoughts on Kyler and the Cards? Kyler wants to be ready by week 1, but with the Cards, tell him to slow down. Yeah, I'm really not sure, man. Like a lot of these things that we've had questions on all year, we still have questions on. And I draft Kyler sometimes. I especially like him as like a second quarterback when you go elite, or in a 3 quarterback room. Draft him when I have Hollywood usually. I'm still thinking he misses the start of the year. And if he, even if he plays, if he's not Kyler, aka run. So I would have taken Pacheco there, who I'm notably down on. Just an ADP faller. Someone take Kirk. No, Kirk has a falling ADP. All right, we're not grabbing Kirk then. So we need some running backs. I don't grab a lot of James Cook, but we'll grab him here. And then there's going to be a couple different players for me. This could be Engram. This could be JMO. One of the running backs. It pains me to pass on Jameson Williams. It really does. But we're going to go A.J. Dillon this time because A.J. Dillon, 3 rushing touchdowns against the Vikings. Addison and Hawkinson both score themselves. And we're winning $3 million. Come on now. So yeah, Kyler, a guy I like to mix in. Hockey Skills saying, have you noticed people sniping more stacks recently? I don't know, man. People are always doing that type of shit. I'm not paying attention. Will saying, how's your PJ lineup playing today? My best ball ones. They both have Tommy Fleetwood on it. So that's good news because he's in first right now. They currently, one's in 55th and one's in 96th, but the golf's not over for the day. So we'll check back in on them later. So I don't know. Optimistic about them. The stack sniping is insane on DK. Yeah, I'm sure it happens more there. Again, this is obvious what I'm going to say here, but a lot of people don't comprehend this or don't enact this. There is a big difference between doing something that hurts another team and helps your team versus doing something that hurts another team and hurts your team. The first is smart. The second is dumb. You're trying to win the contest, not prevent someone else from winning it. However, something I could see being smart is if you notice a team that you think looks good passed on quarterback, and it's getting late and you have 2 quarterbacks and you could probably stop at 2, but this third quarterback kind of works for your team. You could backstack them. They want them to stack with their team. You could take that third quarterback, try to screw them on quarterback. You having a third quarterback, yeah, you probably weren't going to take them always. But it really hurts that team. It doesn't hurt your team because you're going to backstack them. That's a big difference than being like, I don't know. You notice a dude takes Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, and you just take Herbert because you don't want him to get Herbert, and then you don't have any other Charger stacks. You know, ML bringing up. I think he beat us in a FFPC league, but then lost in the championship round. Yeah, I had a lot of promising teams last year. Unfortunately I had just like 5 shares of Cup and Andrews, and that was looking great until Cup got hurt. Penn bringing up how I'm leveraging against because I took Chase, the Hawkinson and Addison picks work because it's betting against Jefferson. Something you should be thinking about. What's your stance on the Washington backfield? I had like all of the Gibson when he was 11th, 12th, 13th. I was just like, I probably had like 80% Gibson then. And then I don't know what report came out or what analyst steamed this up, but I went to Vegas, I came back, and Gibson had jumped 3 tiers. Brian Robinson had dropped a tier, and now I take Brian Robinson. And that's how you should approach portfolios usually. If a guy you have at a cheaper cost rises and a guy you like, it's not like I like Gibson that much more than Brian Robinson or vice versa. I like them both. I think they both can be great picks. They can both be great picks this year. But I'm getting more Brian Robinson as Gibson rises. Do you think James Cook is capable of being a 3-down workhorse? I have a lot more Damian Harris than James Cook, but I do recognize that like an upside season for James Cook is a lot more points than Damian Harris. The Bills are just not a team that are going to grind the run, right? Can he be on the field for 3 downs? Yes. What does that mean? I don't know. 13, 15 points per game. Super explosive guy, right? Can score a touchdown from anywhere. I thought he was a little disappointing in the pass catching department. Yeah, so we're not going to get Kirk or Geno, which is fine. When you have an elite guy in Allen, in general, you should be pushing your quarterback too. So it's like, yeah, would I have taken one of them to stack? Probably. But this guy goes unstack Geno. Got to do that. And this guy goes unstack Kirk. Got to do that. Like this team's drawing dead to win. An unstacked Herbert, an unstacked Kirk. All right. So we're going to take Rashad Penny. And could take Alan Lazard, who, I think he scores some touchdowns. But let's double up. No, we're gonna reach on Kincaid, quote unquote reach. Really, all I'm doing is taking Kincaid over Damian Harris, which I already have James Cook. If Kincaid's ADP was like me, I've noticed that me touting Kincaid has started him rising. Like I was getting him in the 130s, 140s sometimes, but if I knew for a fact I could get Penny, Damian Harris, and then Kincaid, I would do it. But for this team, it makes more sense to have Kincaid. We've doubled up on tight end. For not getting our first running back until the 5th round, we have a really strong group of 4. We have an elite quarterback. We have 4 good wide receivers. We have 2 tight ends I like a lot. And, going to add a quarterback, going to hit a bunch of wideout bodies. I mean, Preston, what are we doing here? Thoughts on Josh Allen versus the Cowboys week 15? What are you expecting me to say to that? Like, It's a great, Allen versus anyone. Some people are down on Allen because he plays the Patriots week 17. I think he'll score points. Thoughts on Washington wideouts? I draft them, including my guy, Curtis Samuel. Brock saying I need to get better at these more macro game theory concepts. Yeah, it's something that I think I helped popularize, like, and it's what I think I'm strong at, because, I was do content with more traditional fantasy analysts, like what I think Pat was originally, and like what they're thinking about is different than how do you win the contest. Those are very different things. Like which running back is going to do X yards, which wideout is going to do X yards. These are important things, but also thinking through adding an element of how do I advance? How do I win? And I started talking about a lot of that, and I think I helped bring that more to the front of mind. And it's not rocket science once I bring it up. It's just like, okay, maybe I was good at it. Now everyone is. Big deal. Michael saying hard to say how much is sniping versus guys treating like a home league and not even thinking of stacking. Yeah, 100%, Michael. I definitely think people sometimes are too paranoid, and just like think people are out to get them when really these guys are just fucking vibe baits drafting. Or like, 1,000,000% do I think it's possible McGruff 22 watched quarterback on Netflix and then was like, give me Kirk Cousins. I liked him on the show. Yes. Hockey saying, is Dalvin Cook for sure out of coming to Miami? If so, who do you like? Yeah, Jeff Wilson. I mentioned this yesterday. I like Jeff Wilson quite a bit. No, I don't think it's. I was acting like Dalvin Cook's going to be a Patriot, but then they worked out Darrell Henderson, Leonard Fournette, some other guys. So I don't really know what's going on there. Preston was trying to ask about the defense. Yeah, Preston, let me let you in on a secret right now. Elite defenses do not slow down elite quarterbacks at all. Go for it, young beastie. No D-Cost. I don't think it's crazy at all to go Knox and Kincaid. You have to understand the theory of Kincaid is that he's playing more of a slot. It's not like his production should come at the expense of Knox. And the way that Knox is going to score points is, he blocks, goes out for a chip, gets a short route, maybe he's getting 30 to 40 yards, and then he gets 2 red zone targets and converts and gets 2 touchdowns. Kincaid should be more of like a move the chain offense guy. I don't know what his red zone role will be. What defenses do you consider elite? I need to re-plug into all the offseason moves teams made. I like to look at free agent and draft moves, but like obviously the Eagles come to mind. The Cowboys are up there as one of the better defenses. Okay, so we're at pick 144. Goff would have worked if I took JMO, but I did not. Rashee Rice catching touchdowns in practice. It is rookie camp, but I don't get a lot of Chiefs guys, so I like to take Rice as a bet on that offense. KJ Osborne just seems like way overpriced. Man, no one really else fits this team. Could go Kyler. I think we'll take Roshan. Originally, I just was not taking the Bears guys, but now I've just been taking all 3. and just hoping the news breaks right for the guy I take. I take Foreman, I take Johnson, I take Herbert. Yeah, I think Torrance, the guard, and Kincaid. The Bills had two of the worst guards in the NFL last year, and then they drafted a guard in the first round or the second round, who had a first round grade on him. And then they signed one of the Cowboys guards, Connor McGovern. So I think that's really going to help the Bills offense. And Kincaid, I'm expecting big things, but we're going to have to wait and see for camp. Help me out, guys. What other defenses do you have on the elite train? I think the Bills defense, when healthy last year, was elite. Before Von Miller got hurt and Micah Hyde got hurt, they were shutting down teams. So we'll see how they return. Ooh. And that's the thing and I think that's the thing that the Bills front office finally recognized is like they invested all this resource in defense at the expense of O-line, and one or two injuries, and the defense is no longer elite. The Jets, 1,000,000% I would put in the elite category, especially their secondary. I think Sauce Gardner is the best defensive player in the league. No doubt the best corner. He's like literally the only shutdown corner. Dolphins pretty good. San Fran, of course, always good. Eagles are probably even got better on defense. Let me look at some. Chargers have some potential if their guys are healthy. Atlanta invested a lot on defense. We have to recognize that how good your offense is tied into how good your defense is. If your defense is on the field the whole game, it's harder to be good. Carolina's got some pieces. Minnesota sucks. I'm scrolling up to look at some of the teams. Yeah, short list Washington has some pieces, but short list, I'd put Buffalo, Niners, Cowboys, Eagles. Any other glaring omissions? Atlanta, maybe. And then Detroit, after being real rough, invested a lot on their defense. So it's not going to shock me if Detroit, after having terrible secondary play, turns it around. Thoughts on Shakir versus Hardy versus Sherfield? Spelled it Sheffield, but Sherfield. I draft all three. I think it's pretty clear Shakir is what most people assume will be the wide receiver 3. Is he splitting duties with Kincaid? I do not know. I was way more hyped on Hardy originally. Sherfield's done well in practices to date. Haven't heard as much about Hardy. Some people say he did well, though. So I don't know. It's another situation where I'm going to be paying close attention to camp news. I could see all three, including their rookie, having big games. Who is the guy on? Why am I blanking on his name? Justin Shorter. This dude is a freak. Is he maybe just Gabe Davis insurance? I don't know. Some are saying the Packers and Broncos. Yeah, the Broncos got some pieces. When it comes to your roster additions / losses, do you note take or do you just think you'll remember everything like I do? Yeah, no, it's not it's not a detailed process. And oftentimes I re-Google it. Could I note take and be a little bit more efficient? Sure, could. I think of the Seahawks as a bad defense, Brock, but willing to revisit their additions. So the round of no, never mind. Not a round of tight ends. Okay. So we got a 1-5-5-2 cooking coming up on pick number 168. Clearly need some more wide receivers. This is a running back room where I could stop at 5 for sure. None of these quarterbacks really work for my team. I'm a big Isaiah Hodgins guy. Jaden Reed would work too for the stack. So let's get weird here. 179. Yeah, he's not making it back to us there. We'll take Knox first to give us a little bit more time to decide if we want to go Jaden Reed or Isaiah Hodgins. Isaiah Hodgins definitely, I think, has more upside in my mind, but also more downside where he could get cut. Jaden Reed's definitely making the team. The only question is like, how much do they throw? We'll go Reed this time. We have so much Hodgins. I mean, I have a lot of Reed too, back when he was a 17th, 18th round pick. But I just think the Vikings D is very bad. They play in a dome. So we're loading up on the Minnesota Green Bay game. And Hodgins falls on this site sometimes, by the way. We have another running back wide receiver correlation. So we got a 1-5-6-3. Usually would stop at 2 tight ends, but why not add a Knox too? Yes, they all have the same bye week. Don't come for me for that. Sam Howell goes. Would have considered him as a quarterback for me. And with Allen, I don't always do 2 QBs. Literally won Best Ball Mania 2 with my second quarterback not contributing. This is why we think ahead. Make the second coffee. Again, guys, hit that subscribe button. Help me out here. I'm liking this team a lot. We got Anchor Kenneth Walker. We got Upside and Cook. We got Dylan Upside. We got Rashad Penny Upside. We got Rashawn Johnson Upside. We got the 101 or 102 in quarterbacks. We got the 101 in wide receivers. We got Metcalf and Davis, who are going to have plenty of spike weeks. We got 3 highly drafted rookies, 1 first rounder and 2 second rounders. I'm pretty sure Reed won in the second. Let me look that up. Forget if he won third. Jaden Reed, second round, yeah. So yeah, a first rounder and 2 second rounders. We have 1 of the elite tight ends, and then 2 tight ends that stack with our team and have upside potential. Yeah, Kelvin, I'm pretty sure my backup quarterback was Justin Fields. And I mean, maybe he didn't put up 0, but I think he put up like 2.9 points, literally. I could look it up, but I do remember, like, I did not need Justin Fields points ever. But what if you miss out by 7 points, Tanner? That's just how it is sometimes, man. Can't cover all your bases. Chandler asking, is Tannehill an option for you now? I'll have a couple shares, but it's just tough for me to select a quarterback I have low confidence is playing all 17 games. Hockey asking, do you think there's a point where you can have too many rookies? Probably. It's not something I think about, though. You know? Like, do I think this team has too many rookies? No. Not at all. Because, like, even if these guys are slow to start, these guys should not be. So I got 3 more picks. They're going between... Yeah, we got some options there. Cliff asking, you don't have low confidence in Hal playing all 17? It's not that as much as I'm optimistic about his upside if he does. It's like, I know for a fact, I view the situations very differently than Tennessee, where in Washington, the backup is Jacoby Brissett, right? A veteran, not a guy that we have no guesses that he's going to have upside and be elite in the league. Howell is the guy with upside, right? The guy I'm excited for and the starter. In Tennessee, it's the opposite, right? Tannehill is the guy starting. He has some upside. But the guy behind him, Will Levis, everyone thinks he sucks, but maybe he does not. And he's a rookie, right? So way different situations to me. Plus, Howell, we think, has rushing upside. Maybe that game was a mirage. But, okay. So, the room just gobbled up the quarterbacks. I'm not going to force one here. The real time that Devontae Parker, another guy, would have taken, the real time going solo elite quarterback hurts you is like when they miss a couple games mid-season. All right, let's go Ty Chandler, end our running back room there. I've not been taking him. Works with this team well. Oh man, wideout is a rough landscape. So is quarterback. Take Ty. Is there any stacks? Could take Desmond Ridder and end with like Matt Collins. Yeah, I don't hate that. Or I could go Hardy and Sherfield. Fuck Desmond Ridder, man. Wait, is Shakir still there? No. Fuck. Auto drafted. Who do we get? Mike Gesicki. Damn it. All right. Well, little fun fact for you guys out there. Mike Gesicki, some would say, is the ultimate glue guy. Not only was he on my winning Best Ball Mania 2 team, he was also on Pat's Best Ball Mania 3 team. And why is he a glue guy? Because he contributed almost no points. He is a Week 17 bring back. I did not want him. Maybe I could take Mac Jones now if I feel like it. We'll throw him in the queue. Hopefully someone snipes us on him. We'll throw some names in the queue here. Hardy. Sherfield. Shorter. Who's this? Dude has news too. Okay. Guess not. So yeah, bad draft. Happy mistake though. And Gesicki, I would rather have Gesicki than Hunter Henry because I don't know. The Patriots did not invest in their wide receiver room, and not impossible he was just like in a bad offense in Miami for his skills, and that he's kind of like a Mirage Dalton Kincaid for them. Plus, our build's unique. No longer taking a 0 week 13 if Gesicki can contribute. But yeah, a little bit thinner at wideout because of it. Just need the rookies the ball, though. Do I like Darius Slayton? I do. I've been cooling off a little bit on him. Let's see here. Exactly, Brock. Levis, big man, run fast, throw hard. It's simple logic. Captain Osimo is not drafting any rookies other than Bijan and Musgrave. Bold strategy, Cotton. Moral support. You guys know. Boom, Scott. Optimism, baby. Andrew, I had no idea who was at the top of the queue. Don't get me wrong. Like, Hunter Henry probably scores more points than Gesicki, but in their big seasons, I'll take Gesicki. All right, so I really don't know how we're going to finish this last spot here. Would say Trey Lance is in the mix. Yeah, Trey Lance or a wideout. Justin Ross, a guy that's hard to pull the trigger on, but just feel his upside. Who do you guys like in this queue? I do a bunch of 2772s, Captain. This team probably would have been that if not for me adding Knox, auto drafting Gesicki, which I don't. It's pretty rare for me to auto draft, honestly. What is your case for taking Trey Lance? I mean, Purdy is either injured again and or not that good. Trey Lance was drafted 3rd overall to them. If he's playing, has a bunch of upside as a rushing quarterback. It would absolutely crush me after having like 20% plus of him in the past years to have none of him the year that he goes literally with the last pick of the draft. He could be traded to a team to start there. You know, like if you're Atlanta, aren't you trading for Trey Lance at the deadline if the Niners are over him? Yeah, I mean a bunch of and you don't need to stack Trey Lance. You know, I understand they're saying that Purdy's the starter, but I don't know. Just like the dude was drafted, they traded so much draft capital for him. The dude finally got a start, then got hurt. And like if we knew he was starting, would probably go Anthony Richardson plus, you know. You've talked me into it. I'm going Lance. Young Beastie asking if I'm buying the Ross hype. Yeah, man, I want to have some of him, but he definitely could be a cut, you know? I do think this team, though, needs another wide receiver more than it needs Lance. It's hard. All right, we're just going to count that these 4 guys are good. Rice is seeing the field and good. We're going thin at wideout. All right, we're doing You ready for this? One through 4. Wanted me to go 4. Oh, who's 4, guys? Trey Lance. No one let me draft him. Did I take him? Well, let's find out who got picked there. That was my 79th. We got him. This is 720 streamed. Number 79. JA 17 2664. All right, so really like the core of this team. Not, some of the back end of the draft with the auto draft and whatnot. Obviously, Gesicki should be a wideout for this team, but we have a very high upside quarterback room, similar to Allen Fields when I won, right? Allen's back. Now it's Lance. Maybe Lance contributes nothing until later in the season. Walker, James Cook, AJ Dillon, Rashad Benny, Rashawn Johnson, Ty Chandler. That's a running back room I like a lot. Definitely see early season and late season production from them if things break right. Could things break wrong? Of course they could. Rashad Penny could be cut. These guys could be zeros. James Cook could, fall behind Damian Harris. Kenneth Walker could fall into more of a split with Charbonnet. We got Chase, my 101, Metcalf, Davis, 3 great wideouts. Jordan Addison, as long as he's not suspended for off the field stuff. A great roll of the dice on a rookie. Rashee Rice, rolling the dice on a Pat Mahomes piece. And a rookie with upside. Kind of a bet against Sky Moore. Jaden Reed, another second-round rookie who a lot of people liked. So only have 6 of them. Strong tight end room. 1, we have an elite guy that works with our Minnesota Green Bay stack. We got 2 guys with Allen. We got a bring back and the ultimate glue guy. So we got our week 17 stacks are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in Bills Patriots. Most of them Bills, as it should be. We have 7, 8 guys. We got the Cincinnati, Kansas City bring back. We're up to 8. We got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, including the Green Bay, Minnesota guys. So 13 out of our 18 spots are correlated for week 17. All right, let's get to some of these questions before I get out of here today. Going to be doing a stream on my Twitter here soon for the 33rd team. Young Beastie saying Lance has to be given a chance. We'll see, man. Hockey asking, are you maxing BBM4 this year? Yeah, man. When you win BBM2, you max every year. Carlos saying he's at 140 and really sad about it. Still got plenty. Not sure what this one's about. What is your favorite best ball site? I like them all. Underdog, probably the one I enjoy drafting on the most. Okay. Osimo's just touting himself there. Guys, if you could do me a favor, when I end this broadcast, drop any comment, refresh the stream and drop any comment in the YouTube comments below. Really helps the algorithm. It can be something like, wow, can't believe you did that. Really, whatever that comes to your mind, Good show, Liam. Don't care. Be a hater too, I comment on the haters as well. Chris coming with the hot takes to end. Chris. All right, guys, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be on my stream in an hour here on Twitter. Have a great day.